those few little things that I don't think hold up very well are kind of small compared to the things that I think that the movie actually does do really well. We have two plus size kind of leading characters. We get to see them be involved in sexual situations, for them to have happy endings, for them to love on themselves and not necessarily have it to where they're being rescued by a man. It talks about all of those things that we talked about earlier about diet culture and about food culture and capitalism. And it finds a way to bring in things that exist in real life that matter on a grand scale for a lot of people. And it manages to do it in a way that is still funny, that we still find ways to have our expectations subverted. And it does it in a way that's really fun to watch and it's entertaining. So I really enjoy it. And so for me, I recognize that fat phobia is kind of one of the last socially acceptable forms of bigotry. Like, while we've made real progress in making other forms of discrimination increasingly taboo and costly, fat bias is kind of one of the ones that's the last dominoes to fall, right? Because there's this assumption that someone's body size is a personal moral failure that warrants them being excluded. And that's just not true. We're still just not in a space to fully accept people for who they are. And so at some point, we're going to have to reach the stage where fat phobia is no longer an acceptable form of bigotry. Okay. And when I look at our current media landscape, it's still genuinely rare to see a plus size person as a romantic lead, as an object of desire, as a main character whose love story is treated with full weight. No pun intended. And so we have made some progress, not as much as we should have in 20 years, which means that this movie is still in some ways revolutionary. So what it does well, it does really well. It centers these two plus size Black women as fully realized protagonists with dreams and desires and these complicated inner lives. There are sex scenes. There are romantic leads who pursue them openly. There's a fashion arc. There's a business arc. There's an emotional arc. And it critiques diet culture and the fashion industry and systemic racism and capitalism and, even food deserts, all while being funny and not being preachy, which is the perfect balance, right? So it even includes a brief moment of mentioning male fat phobia, acknowledging that this isn't just a women's issue. And so the skinny cousin is never necessarily a villain. She's also not really a buffoon. She's just a person who loves her family member and has her own humbling moment. And most importantly, these women rescue themselves. Nobody saves them. They save themselves. So for a romantic comedy, that is something, okay? The humor mostly still lands. The emotional arc feels real. The body image struggles feel not just contemporary, but kind of timeless. And the fact that we are still in 2026 having the same conversations about diet culture, representation, who gets to be romantic leads, that's not a sign that this movie aged poorly. It's a sign that it was onto something. Okay. So to me, Phat Girlz holds up.